Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode
226.
Nah, I don't think that's right.
The number there is wrong.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's 226. It was 225 last week. You're right. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only Too Fresh Crash. Come on, boy, don't do this to me.
Do what?
Not speak. Come on, it's a podcast.
You usually talk a lot, so you remember a few weeks ago, I interjected and you said, "Let you host."
Oh, come on.
Let you do your damn job.
Come on. Don't be that guy.
Trying to give you all the room you need to do your hosting thing.
I mean, thank you.
You're welcome.
I truly appreciate that. How are you, Crash?
I'm doing solid.
I wanna take this opportunity real quickly.
Okay.
Because I got a tweet the other day, so I just want to put this person out on blast real quick because I don't like this and I don't like that. So Paul Morgan 80 on Twitter.
Okay.
Listens to the podcast. Was helping me out with some sound details. So I was like, thank you very much, I appreciate it. Blah 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 blah. Then he tweeted this. Sounded fine to me today. Don't really listen to the other guy. Free crying laughing faces. Now, Paul, I'm going to let you into a little secret, my friend. I'm not about that life. That's not what this community is about. So, either you will apologise in a tweet to Crash, or I am blocking you on Twitter. Good to know. Alright, anyway, back to everything. This is My Xbox and Me, our weekly Xbox podcast. You can find us everywhere. youtube.com/myxboxandme, www.myxboxandme.com. I've kind of been away for a couple of weeks from games. I feel strange, I'm not gonna lie. I feel really strange, where I just feel like I've not been playing much, I've not been doing much, so we'll see what's going on. Other than that, you can get the show early, patreon.com/mcfixer. And yeah, for those who have been wondering where the hell I've been and what's been going on stream-wise, my mum's in and out of hospital again. I spoke too early last time, and let's just say we're in and out. Like every other day I've got to go to the hospital. And it's like, it sucks, let me tell you. Because you kind of have to, you get like a 10 o'clock appointment, right? And then she's not getting seen until about 7 o'clock at night.
Oh.
So you're just sat there waiting.
Just waiting, yeah.
Just the hot, and it's awful. It's absolutely awful. Took my Switch with me last time. My Switch didn't have no charge. I got no internet in the hospital, so I can't play music. Do you know when people say, "Can you live without the internet?" I cannot live with. I had no music. I had no podcasts. I had my games, even the games I have downloaded on my phone, I couldn't play
because they need internet.
Because they needed internet.
Ooh. Do you not download like an offline playlist for your music?
I'm not rich like you. I don't have like a big iPhone.
You have iTunes. Music doesn't take up a lot of space.
Takes up a lot of space.
You guaranteed. Oh, I don't know why you threw me under the bus with that. You guaranteed to have enough room for music, and you try to make it like a rich person. I'm not rich. What the
extra.
Somebody's gonna be listening to that. They're gonna get a completely different. Like, oh wow, I didn't know.
Crash was super rich. He could afford a bigger iPhone. No, honestly, I haven't got them all. I haven't got it all backed up. I've got like a couple of songs. So I've got like the 5 songs I like from Eminem's new album, "Music's Been Murdered By." I've got those downloaded, so I literally just listen to those 5 tracks on repeat. And now you're
repeat. Like, I don't know if I like.
Oh no, I still listen to them. They're like the 5 tracks I listen to like daily. If I'm being honest with you, can you guess which ones they are? I know we're an Xbox podcast, but F it.
Probably not. I have no clue with you.
Premonition, the intro.
Okay, yeah.
Unaccommodated.
Okay, good song.
You got You're Gonna Learn.
Good song.
Those Kind of Nights. With Ed.
I understand.
Godzilla.
Okay.
And then it's one more. I'm a liar. 6 tracks. And can you guess the last one?
No.
I will.
I don't remember what song that one is.
The Slaughterhouse track, but without Jerobolod.
Oh, okay. It's not a Slaughterhouse track, but yeah, okay.
Slaughterhouse track without Jerobolod.
Doesn't say Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, I mean, okay, fair enough. But yeah, so I just literally listened to those 6 tracks just over and over. I was like, Good thing I like these songs. Good thing I like these songs.
Yeah, so in New York, we have to take the train, and the train goes underground.
Yeah.
So I always have a downloaded podcast ready. So, or
Well,
not podcast, but music.
You gotta think, I don't leave the house that often. And when I do, I go on a bus. I get a bus to wherever I'm going to go get my... Literally, dude, let's be honest. Where am I leaving? I'm going from here to get my haircut and back. That's about it. And everywhere else, Haley takes me. So, I don't really have a reason to be
I get it.
Having downloaded stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I need YouTube Red, I should just download. I'm like, no, I'm not YouTube Red, YouTube Premium. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. My mum will be out soon. Clearly not. But yeah, again, thank you everyone that has stuck with us and stuck with me over the last couple of weeks. I know I've not been around as much on any platform, really. Still managed to put out the track. It's weird, like I say, the music track that we put out. I don't know if people listen to it. The Valentine's Day love song we put out. It's just that, to be honest with you, that's just sort of a little bit of creative juices going. So I'm very happy with all that. So yeah, Crash. Big news has dropped. Big. It's an interesting one, right? Because no Patreon producers this month. Topic of the show. So. Big news has dropped. The big news is obviously Xbox have officially announced the Xbox Series X details. It's funny because we already reported these a couple of weeks ago when Windows Central leaked them.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much on par. We've got a couple of little bit of extra details here and there, but we're kind of repeating ourselves again, but I'll read it anyway. It's a long read, so stick with me. And here we go. This was posted by Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, on the Xbox Wire. And it says, a superior balance of power and speed. Compared to its previous generation, Xbox Series X represents a superior balance of power and speed in console design, advancing on all technology fronts to deliver amazing dynamic living worlds and minimize any aspects that can take you out of the experience. Our job at Team Xbox is to give teams the tools they need to achieve their ambition and tap into the console power. With effectiveness. My apologies. A few of which we're detailing today. Raw power is just part of the story. So, first bullet point we have here is next generation custom processor. Xbox Series X is our most powerful console ever powered by our custom design processor, leveraging the AMD's latest Zen 2 and RDNA architectures, delivering 4 times the processing power of an Xbox One, and enabling developers to leverage 12 teraflops of GPU graphics processing unit performance. Twice that of the Xbox One X, and more than 8 times the original Xbox One. Xbox Series X delivers a true generational leap in processing and graphical power, with cutting-edge technologies resulting in higher frame rates, larger and more... Crash, help me with this word.
More sophisticated.
Thank you very much. Game worlds and an immersive experience unlike anything seen in console gaming. I feel like we'll break it down point by point here, and then we'll go from there. So it's just not me reading at you, and we can actually have a discussion about this. Does this mean anything to you? Again, we've got a question a little bit later on, and it's from Stead, and he breaks down everything for us. So I'll read that as well. But in his, and when I read it, we'll go for it again. But he doesn't know if I'm taking the mick when I say I don't understand, I don't understand what a AMD Zen 2 and an NDNA 2 architecture is, and 12 teraflops and the GPU. No, I actually don't. I am not a tech guy. I enjoy having the best tech, but I majority play console games because of that reason of I don't need to stay up to date with the newest graphics card, the newest processor, the newest I don't know what else goes into these things, SSD drive, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Newest RAM, that's just not me. So no, I generally don't know. I did watch Digital Foundry's video about this, so I have a little bit more of an understanding, but still not enough to, I would say, to talk about on a podcast to you guys listening, and it made coherent sense. So
right,
I'd rather not do that. That's just if you want that information, I think you should go check out Digital Foundry's video. They break everything down that we're speaking about in a much more technical term, and the RDNA2 architecture. They break that down and what that actually is, and they have graphics. And if you're into those details, go listen to that. If you just want a surface level conversation about what we think of these new things, stay tuned to the rest of this episode. You're not really a components guy either, right? Like you know more than what I know. I'd definitely say that.
I'm still not like up to date.
Yeah. So
with it all,
12 teraflops. That's the easy part for us to start with, I think. Because A&D's processor, all I know is the R2NA is brand new. It's something that's not even in PCs yet. So there's that, and the same with 12 teraflops. Apparently, 12 teraflops is new for PCs as well, or something. Digital Foundry was saying. Again, I don't know the full details, so I'm not going to try and to explain anything.
What was it? I saw somebody tweeting out that back, I think it was the 1980s, they had a PC with 11.1 teraflops or 11.9 teraflops or something like that, and it cost like $100 million.
Oh, okay. So we're at that point now.
Yeah. So that was a little funny thing. I don't really know about the RDNA2. 12 teraflops is nice, but it's another one of those things where it's like more teraflops cool.
I feel like we're at a point where it's the 12 teraflop thing's obviously a meme at this point, right? It's like, but I do think it's the easiest way to explain to new people like myself who don't understand the full details. Like 12 is better than 6, and 6 is better than that. And like, if you give me a number, and then the teraflop thing is just like whatever. It's like, okay, it does this much better than the Xbox One original, and it does this much better than the Xbox One X. It's like, okay, cool. You've broken it down in a perfect way.
It's also not just Microsoft using it now, because Stadia had it as well, where Stadia had 10.9 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And now Microsoft is doubling down, because they started this with the One X, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. So obviously it's more powerful than the One X. All this means to what we know is it's going to help frame rate, it's going to help resolution, it's going to help gaming worlds become more realistic and things of that nature, right?
Yeah, it has more power, basically.
Cool. Moving on. Variable rate shading, VRS. Our patterned form of VRS empowers developers to more effectively utilize the power of the Xbox Series X. Rather than spending GPU cycles uniformly to every single pixel on screen, they can prioritize individual efforts on the specific game characters or important environment objects. This technique results in a more stable frame rate. So again, from what I understand, it's giving developers more tools to. Again, I'm trying to go off of what I've heard now and what I understand. So from what I understand, it gives developers more tools to make things look better in better areas. So say the screen when you're on, so you're facing a certain area, right?
Yeah. And
it's something off to like the far left. They can make that resolution. I'm talking out my arse. I'm not a game dev. I really want to make sure you understand this. I am not the guy to talk about this stuff, so I'm doing the best of my ability. So from the best of my, I missed a part here, which is stable frame rates and higher resolution with no impact on the image quality. So from what I understand is, if something's out on the far left, they can actually not make that look the best, but they can make whatever's in the far right, if it's more in camera shot, look the best. And that's how the variable rates work in shading.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
If I'm not mistaken, this isn't like something new. I think this is new for the Xbox, and them having their own system is really cool.
Yes.
I don't know how this will affect third parties because I don't know if they'll opt into this. This
We'll-
is something that they have
We'll
to
get to that. We'll
actively
get to
go
that. We'll get to that at the end. We'll get to that at the end.
Okay.
Next up, which is hardware accelerated DirectX ray tracing. You can expect more dynamic and realistic environments powered by hardware accelerated DirectX ray tracing, a first for console gaming. This means the true to life lighting, accurate reflections, and realistic acoustic in real time as you explore the game world. Immersive in an instant. The next console generation will be defined by playing and waiting less. Oh, okay, we'll get onto that part. That's for the SSD. So obviously, I feel like most people who have listened to this have heard about. If you listen to an Xbox podcast, you probably listen to many other podcasts, right? And you're in tune with gaming. You're in tune with the culture, right? I'm not someone who understands what ray tracing is, but I've seen ray tracing, and the best example I've seen is on Minecraft.
Yeah. It makes Minecraft not look like a bad game.
Well, it makes Minecraft look ridiculously amazing, right? And to play in that world is something that I've always wanted. Don't get me wrong. I can do it. Don't get me. I could definitely do it on my PC. But if there's going to be tools in place that they can do it on Xbox, and it's going to be easy as downloading a texture pack or a pack or something, that's going to be game changing for me.
Do you think that it would just be a texture pack?
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's what
I don't think that, but if it could be that.
Right. Okay. I was just curious.
No, because I do think there is one on PC, a texture pack you can download, which makes it like ray tracing, which is it's not as good as ray tracing, but it's very, very close. So even if we got something like that, it would be pretty cool. But no, I don't think it's going to be a texture pack sort of thing. No.
All right. Okay.
This is definitely ground up. This is the next level of gaming. We're not seeing. It's not resolutions anymore. You know what I mean? Like the jump from 1080p to 4K is big. It is big once you see it and you see it on a consistent base. It is. It's really cool. It's really nice. But it's not that jump from 720 to 1080 or even 460. What's the next? 480. 480 to 1080. Like it's not that much of a jump where ray tracing is, but it's in different, again, from what I understand and from what I've seen, it's in different elements. It's like reflections in water, and it's
really
lighting. It's the way the light, like the sun will bounce off a wall. It's stuff like that from my understanding, which makes the whole experience that much more immersive, that much more beautiful, that much more. And again, I feel like as gamers and as basic bitches, which I am definitely, and Chris is like, yes, you are.
No, I was kind of agreeing with myself, but now that you mention it.
For me, it's like, oh, okay. I always go frame rate, resolution. If it's not, I need 4K resolution and I need 120 frames, let's say, yeah? It's like, oh no, there's actually a lot more that goes into it than just frame rate and resolution. It is stuff like DirectX and ray tracing and stuff like that, so
yeah.
We're about to see
like, lighting is one of the things that like really can pull you out of an immersive experience. Like bad lighting, it sort of makes something look faker, whereas if something has good lighting, it pulls you into that world more, I feel like
Gears of War done a great job with its lighting this gen round, right? Gears 4. I feel like that's why most people thought it was the most beautiful game of this generation, right? Because of that especially that opening scene. I remember as you go down, I believe it's like a vine or something. I can't remember the exact moment. It might not be a vine, it might just be a helicopter rope. But as you're going into the the area that you're going into, it's the way the light bounces in, and it just looks magical. So
it adds a completely different layer that you don't necessarily need for that to be a game, but it is something you notice and draws you in more. For sure.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Moving on, the next console generation will be defined by more playing and less waiting. And when play begins, we know many gamers demand ultra low latency to be as immersed and as precise as possible. To this end, the team analysed every step between player and game, from controller to console display, and asked how we can make it faster. Here we go. The first paragraph here is a bullet point, I should say, sorry. SSD storage. With our next generation SSD, nearly every aspect of playing games is improved. Game worlds are larger, more dynamic, and load in a flash. And fast travel is just that, fast. So, obviously, this is one that Sony, I think, when I think of SSD and I think of fast load times, I actually think Sony at the moment, because they've showed it off perfectly with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the moment of making me a believer in like ultra realistic, super fast load times. Like, obviously, I've not got an SSD. I do have an SSD actually on my PC, but I don't use it, and not for the things I should use it for. Let me just say that. For opening applications and stuff, and I think I've noticed it more when I use somebody else's PC now, where I'm like, why is your PC so slow? It's like, it's not. I'm like, oh, my PC's just that much faster. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's what we're now going to find with games, where it's like, I've said time and time again, right, that I'm waiting for a reason to sell me on a Series X, right? Like, I've been very vocal on, why do I need this? Why am I buying this? Why do I need this? Especially with the case of them, like, all games are going to play across the Xbox platform and blah, 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 blah. You've heard me talk about it before if you listen to this podcast. You know my stance on it. It's finally getting to a point where I'm like, okay, you're explaining why I need this. It's because I don't want to be the guy waiting in a lobby while everybody else is already in the game. Like,
It's not a fun experience.
It's
Having
just,
played PUBG on PC with this, it's not a fun experience.
I was just about to say that. But it's the same with playing PUBG across the Xbox One X to the or PC or whatever it is. It's like, no, you don't want to be the guy that's left behind. And not that I think that's like the one driving force behind me buying it, because I've got to buy it for work anyway. But it is an interesting one where I'm like, okay, yeah, now you're finally giving me reasons. So yeah, obviously, I think the SSD storage is one that explains itself pretty easily. It's loads faster, allows for more space. My biggest worry is upgrading an SSD is going to cost.
It's expensive.
That is literally my point.
And then if you get externals, can you use like a non-SSD, and then will it run slower?
It's going to run slower, 1000%.
Yeah.
I feel like I was just thinking about it in bed when I was watching the Digital Foundry video, where I was like, I've just bought I didn't buy two, but I've got two 4 terabyte hard drives for the Xbox One X's that we have, me and Haley, right? Am I now going to be playing the game of moving games, where it's like, okay, I don't mind having all these games installed, but it's going to be a case of, oh, I'm playing Fortnite right now, so I want that on the SSD all the time until something else comes out, and then I'm playing Division all the time, so I'm going to move that from the other hard drive to the SSD and move this game out. Is that how I'm going to be doing things? Because I believe we're only getting 1 terabyte in these consoles of SSD.
Yeah.
And it's like, 1 terabyte sounds like a lot, but as anybody who has an Xbox knows, 1 terabyte is not a lot of space when GTA is 100 and something gig and Witcher's 100 and something gig, and you've got 4 games, and you're like, I'm running out of space here. So
yeah. I'm curious. I'm also curious when, because we'll assume that Microsoft's going to release their own hard drives, right?
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, of course. They did it with the externals, normal hard drives, so they'll definitely do it with an SSD. I think they've got an SSD already, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, I'm pretty sure they actually already have an Xbox branded SSD available that you can buy. Which, again, I think the only reason why I haven't got it, which, like most things, is it's just extremely expensive. Looks very nice. I'm pretty sure it's black, sleek. And if it's not, they've got one, right?
Yeah,
I thought
it's
so.
$100.
Yeah, it's not cheap,
Okay.
but it's $100 for how much? It's not for a terabyte, right?
I'm checking right now. 500 gigabytes.
Yeah, see, so that's $200. That's $200 for a terabyte hard drive. I bought a 4 terabyte external for £80. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But which, don't get me wrong, I understand it's not SSD, but that was like the payoff for me. I was like, I'll take 4 terabytes over speed. Which now, thinking about it, I did it wrong. I should have bought the SSD because that would have been future proofing. But again, you don't know, you don't think about it. So yeah, so it's going to be interesting.
For sure.
Next one, which is Quick Resume, which is the new feature that a lot of people are talking about. The new Quick Resume feature lets you continue multiple games from a suspended state almost instantly, returning you to where you were and what you were doing without waiting through long load screens. Crash totally just messed me up there. We're in Google Docs and he highlighted the whole thing, and I'm like, oh god, what the hell has happened?
I forgot that you can see it when I do it in Google Docs.
Nah, it's all good. I'm messing with you. Yeah, so this Quick Resume is pretty much what the Xbox One currently has, but should actually work.
It's what the Xbox currently has, but with multiple games.
Well,
Like,
no.
the Xbox,
The reason I say the Xbox One currently has, but it actually works, is if you ever try to use it on the Xbox One,
it works for me all the time.
not mine doesn't, hardly ever.
Oh, mine's always works.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I 9 times out of 10, like especially with Fortnite, especially if I load back into Fortnite, my game crashes and makes me restart my whole game.
That's an issue with multiplayer games.
Yep.
I found a lot because you disconnect
From the
lobby.
server. It's the servers.
So
obviously.
I think this will still be an issue for games like that unless they change how they work that back end with it.
Okay. So you think this is so you can currently do this with single player games, let's say, right, without any trouble, but now you'll be able to do it across multiple games.
Yeah.
I don't see myself using it that much, honestly, unless it is as easy as click out, click in, click out, click in, click out, click in, and then I go back to the next game like, oh, thank you, I'm just there, perfect. Unless it's that easy, and I don't know that it's not going to be, but I don't know it's going to be. I don't see myself using it. If it's more of a case of like having to, if I have to think about it more, yeah.
You're not going to use it. Yeah, I hope that's how it is, but I'm down for this because I was playing, what was it? I forgot what I was playing the other day, but I ended up switching to Apex to play with Ben, and I shut down the game, and I was in the middle of a level, so there was no save point, so just kind of lost all the progress I had up till that point. So having this, that wouldn't have happened, so that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've had it with
like
GTA
you said, if
before.
I have to actively think about it,
yeah,
I don't know if I'd necessarily do it.
That is my thing. I hope it is just a case of I'm playing GTA Story Mode, and you go fix, you want to play Apex? Yep, cool. Switch over, bang, and then I want to be able to not think about it. I want to be able to turn my Xbox off. I want to be able to go away, come back, turn it back on. I go, oh, I want to play more GTA. I click it, and boop, oh, I'm back where I was. It needs to be that simple.
I also wonder, there'll be a limit. I wonder what the limit will be. Because I don't think it'll be like as many games as
4. Yeah, well, this is going to take up space on the SSD, right? Because it'll be holding like, it'd be like a save state.
Yeah.
So it's going to be using
to say, like, it'd be running slower the more you have as well.
Yeah. So is it going to be like a PC where you got to remember to shut down certain components because the SSD is now running slow, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Lots and lots of questions. Lots and lots of questions. Next one is dynamic latency, input DLI. We're optimizing latency in the player to console pipeline, starting with our Xbox controller, which leverages our high bandwidth properties. Wireless communication protocol when connected to console with dynamic latency input DLI. A new feature which synchronizes input immediately with what is displayed. Controls are even more precise and responsive. So, from again, my understanding is the new controller is going to be more responsive than the old controllers. Simple. That's pretty simple. It's just they're trying to reduce the latency from when I click A to when my player jumps.
Yeah.
Which a part of me is a bit worried by this. Because what about if I just bought a brand new Elite 2 controller? Is this going to be an update? Like, can you update my controllers so I wouldn't have thought so, right? That's not an update. That's going to be something built in.
Yeah. But is this something that's part of the controller or part of the console? Because it could be console side.
That's a really good point. I didn't think. This
doesn't really explain too much how they do it.
We're optimizing latency in the player to console pipeline, starting with our Xbox wireless controller. You're right, yeah. It doesn't. With our Xbox wireless controller, doesn't necessarily mean that it's in the controller. It could totally be in the console.
It doesn't say with our new Xbox wireless controller, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. This will be a wait and see. It'll also be a wait and see to actually see if you actually notice.
But to be honest with you, they could improve it by literally 0.01, and that would matter. Like any latency that is reduced from a player to what they see on screen is amazing at this point because it's near perfect. So anything they can do with that is pretty amazing. Moving on, HDMI 2.1 innovation. We're partnered with the HDMI forum, and TV manufacturers to enable the best gaming experience through features such as auto low latency mode (ALLM) and variable refresh rate (VRR). ALLM allows Xbox One and Xbox Series X to automatically set the connected display to the lowest latency mode. VRR synchronizes the display refresh rate to the game's frame rate, maintaining smooth visuals without tearing, ensuring minimal lag and the most responsive gaming experience. This is big. This is important because as someone who owns a 4K TV, I love it when I plug in my Xbox and it turns on the HDR mode for me. I used to hate the fact that I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to remember to turn that on every time I play a game. No, it turns that on. With this, it's gonna do that. Plus, it's gonna put it in low latency mode. Plus, it's gonna put it on if you've got a TV that has multiple refresh rates. Again, all this stuff I'm all learning. I'm learning all this. It's all new to me. As a guy who used to just have like a 1080p display TV and that was it, like, and not the, I mean like a tiny 1080p TV which I used to game off of. Like, it's interesting where we're at now, and it's good that it's just happening on the fly. So I'm happy that they've taken that into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. This is kind of some stuff that they've kind of already had, where like consoles would tell what type of TV you're using.
Yeah.
They could adjust settings on the TV and stuff. So this is just taking that further
in
like a really good way for the end user.
100%. It's just, again, it's making it that much easier, right? Between when you turn on the box to getting the best quality without there being a, hey, this isn't working, I've got to look this up. Oh, this ain't working, I've got to look that up. Like, I remember
go in the settings, and you got to tune it into this depending on what monitor you have. Find out what monitor you have.
No,
find
exactly.
Out what refresh rate it has.
Exactly. So it's good that we're getting to that point where it's just sort of done. Next one and last bullet point of this section is 120 frames per second support. With support for up to 120 FPS, Xbox Series X allows developers to exceed standard 60 FPS output in favor of high realistic or fast-paced action. This is something.
Self-explanatory.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. There's nothing more to really break down here. Yeah. Higher frame rates is something that, as long as it suits the game, works perfectly, and it's something that I'm glad that the next set of Xbox consoles are going to support. Obviously, no one wants to be stuck at 60. No one wants to be stuck. I think I'm learning more now. For me, where like, I would love to be a Resident Evil speedrunner. Like, that's something that I've looked into, right? And then learning that, oh, I can't do what certain PCs can do because I need my game to go up to 120 FPS. It's like, is that going to be there for me? Maybe not, but there's an option for it. I can't blame the Xbox for not being able to do it now. I have to blame the developers for not allowing uncapped frame rates and stuff like that.
Yeah. In some cases, it could still be a limitation on Xbox because there it says 120 frames per second support, and we don't know if that's like the maximum. If that's like as high as it can get.
That'll be the max.
So then there will be games where there's too much going on in the game that will probably be able to meet the.
I totally understand. I totally get that. What I mean is, the console is capable of doing 120 frames. Where like I can't, like right now I can't like shout at Capcom because Resident Evil Remake 2 doesn't do 120 like it does on PC. I can't have a go at them because it doesn't do it. At least now we're gonna have a console that does it. And again, back to the conversation, which I'm sure there'll be a question about, is am I interested? Now I'm getting to a point where I'm like, yes, now I do want this. If it's gonna be out of the box and just work, cool. I think the thing to remember though, which is something that I feel like we're forgetting, which I feel like a lot of gamers are forgetting. We keep buying these new consoles and stuff, and they can do all this new stuff, and it's perfect. You still need displays that can do this stuff.
Yes.
Absolutely. But I do think it's something that a lot of I don't think casuals is the right word, but a lot of people are forgetting. Like, you need a display that can do the things that there's no point it supports 8K when no one's got an 8K TV. It supports 120 frames. If your TV can't do 120 FPS, then what the hell? Like, I know my monitors currently couldn't.
Yeah. Like, no. A lot of people get really hyped about 4K. They still don't have a 4K TV or a monitor, but they're like, "Oh, my next console is gonna have 4K."
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
The next generation of game capability. The benefits of the next console generation extended in every direction, bringing greater visual fidelity and improved load times to ensure your gaming experience latency in addition to new games. We're continuing our commitment to capability with Xbox Series X and investing in technology that makes games ownership easier across generations. First bullet point. 4 generations of gaming, our commitment to the capability means existing Xbox One games, including backwards compatible 360 and original Xbox games, look and play better than ever before. Your favourite games, including titles in the Xbox Game Pass, benefit from slender frame rates, faster load times, and improved resolutions and visual fidelity, all with no game developer work required. Your Xbox One gaming accessories also come forward with you. This is huge. I know.
Yeah.
For me, this isn't huge, but I know this is huge from other people's point of view. People that are historians, people that like to fill in those gaps in their video game library and their knowledge. Like if you're someone who's never played Final Fantasy, let's say, or stuff like that, when that game, if that ever came up, Final Fantasy is a bad example because that's not on Xbox. I'm trying to think of an OG Xbox game that we could. Knights of the Old Republic, perfect. Like that's one that I can think of. Like you can play that game now, and it will look dramatically better. It will load dramatically faster. And the big part here is the fact that the developers didn't have to do anything to that. Is that Microsoft have built the technology there that they now can up-res frame rates, resolution, load times, everything, visual fidelity, and they can just put it out. It's like, well, why not make extra money on your game? Oh, we don't want to do that. It doesn't look as good. Oh, well, actually, bring it over, and you can make more money off of your old titles, and it will look just as good and load just as well and play the way people will remember it. And I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. I think the
no. Yeah. No.
I don't think there's much more to add. I think the accessories going forward as well is dope. No need to buy new controllers.
No, apart from the one that comes with
it.
Kit
will work.
Yeah.
Your hard drives that you got won't be the fastest, but they'll work.
Yeah, I feel like that's what we're coming to now, though, right? It's like you can use that old controller, but is it as good as this new controller? You can use your old hard drive.
It has less delay. But...
you can use your new hard drive, but does it look as good as this hard drive? Like it's we're getting to that point now, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
Next up, smart delivery. This technology empowers you to buy a game once and own that. Whether you are playing on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, you are getting the right version of that game on whatever Xbox you're playing on. We're making the commitment to use smart delivery on all our We're making the commitment to use smart delivery on all our exclusive Xbox Game Studio titles, including Halo Infinite, ensuring you only have to purchase a title once in order to play the best available version for whatever console you play on. This technology is available for all developers and publishers, and they can choose to use it for titles that will be released on Xbox One first and come to Xbox One Series X later. Obviously, we've got a story a little bit later on which we'll speak about, which will allow that to breathe there. We'll just talk about this for now. This is obviously huge in the fact of this is part of what my problem was with the consoles, where I was worried. Was we going to get double charged on certain games? Was we going to get double charged? I never thought Xbox would double charge us. I'll be honest. That was never my scare, especially with Game Pass and things like that. I always believed that this was going to be a thing. I didn't know how they were going to market it. I didn't know how they were going to deliver it. Smart delivery. I like the name. I like the wording. It gives you that edge over your competitor, and now puts the ball in their court because we have this system. Are you gonna do it, PlayStation? Are you gonna do it, Nintendo? And Nintendo, Sony, I think will, but Nintendo are the ones where I'm like, you are notoriously known for selling us the same game 1,000 times. Nintendo won't do it, I know, but now we can start asking those questions, right? It's like you are starting to take the mickey out of us as consumers. You are like, I know people that have bought Zelda so many times, or Mario, or whatever it is. Like, I feel like they're getting better because they've got their what's their not, it's not Game Pass, their old system. What's that called?
If you have the online, I forget what it's called. Nintendo Vault or something like
that. Whatever it's called. Like they're getting better because of that. So they give a little bit of like, oh, okay, all right, fine. You just pay us a monthly subscription, or like you just pay us the year. We won't charge you for the same Mario game you've bought 10,000 times already. All right. But yeah, I do think this is good. And we'll talk about it a bit more in a little bit, alright? Next up, Xbox Game Pass. Unless you had anything to add there, Krish. I feel like we could go into more detail.
Well, yeah, what I wanted to add, we can talk about later.
Cool. Xbox Game Pass, in addition to games from across 4 generations of console, our leading game subscription service, Xbox Game Pass, will continue to our first-party games like Halo Infinite, included at launch. We look forward to millions of you experiencing the Xbox Game Pass portfolio and immersing yourself in a deep library of high-quality games, playing those you love now, and also discover your next great adventure. So, Game Pass is still coming. We kind of assumed that, but yeah.
There's one word in there that I like. Millions.
Millions, yeah? Is that...
They have millions of users.
That confirms millions of users, you think?
The way it reads, I think that's their purpose of putting the word there, because that's like
nah.
We look forward to millions of you experience the Xbox Game Pass.
I feel like that's them foreshadowing, right? Of like, we're going to hit millions. We're not there yet.
So they got 1 million, is what you're saying. That's what they got.
No, I don't think it even confirms that. I like your reporting though, Krish. I like what you're doing here. You're out here like Sherlock Holmes with a magnifying glass. Like, let me see this.
10 million. Until they deny it, Microsoft has 10 million Xbox Game Pass users.
My Xbox and me does not confirm that. We do not endorse that.
Zyga, write up an article.
Zyga, good on it. And the last few bits here. A generation with players at the center. Xbox Series X is our fastest, most powerful console ever, designed for a console generation that has you at its center. This means a high-fidelity gaming experience enclosed in a quiet and bold design, with the ability to discover thousands of games across 4 generations, all with more playing and less waiting. Whether it's empowering amazing creators at our 15 Xbox game studios, fueling game discovery with Xbox Game Pass, or expanding what and where you can play with Project xCloud, Team Xbox stands for frictionless pathway between players. A frictionless pathway. I felt like friction. Yeah, I kind of messed that up. My apologies. Frictionless pathway between players and the best experiences our remarkable art form has to offer. Xbox Series X represents that same commitment for the players who want immediate immersion in games that also look and feel better than ever. We can't wait to share more details about the new Xbox with you in the coming months. All from the big dog himself, head of Xbox, Phil Spencer. Crash. What does that... Just before we go into... We've got more questions, we've got more to break down, don't get me wrong. What does that statement do for you? Because I'll be honest, it did get me hyped. It got me happy, it got me excited, it got me ready more for the next gen. What does it do for you?
Honestly, it doesn't do much for me. Because like a lot of stuff that they like sort of go into more detail on, like I expected some form of it. Because there was either leaks or Sony was doing something similar, so you have to think Microsoft's in a similar mind space with those as well. Yeah. Not that they were guaranteed, them being like confirmed now is really nice. But I don't think it heightens my hype anymore for the new console.
Yeah, for me it's nice hearing it from the horse's mouth. If I'm honest, when you hear it from Windows Central, and don't get me wrong, they have great reporters, and I didn't not believe it, hence why I read it out on the show. Like, I wouldn't have reported it on this show if I didn't believe it. But a part of me is just that much more excited now, because it's like, okay, we know what we're getting. We're getting this, we're getting this, we're getting this, we're getting this. I am ready to see that dashboard though. That's where I'm at. I'm like, I need to see that dashboard. I want to see what sort of what and games, obviously. But for me, it's like, and Matt Pisser tweeted this out. He's like an industry. What does he do? He breaks down the industry sort of thing, and he was like power, content, and the other way around. It was like content, power. It's like, and what he was trying to say is like, it's all well and good having 12 teraflops. It's all well and good having a custom RDNA 2 and a Zen 2 processor, but without brilliant first party games, this means nothing. And I do kind of agree with him. Like, especially, I've been doing this podcast now over 5 years. Like, and I started the podcast at the worst time to start an Xbox podcast. Like, if you want to think about it, really, we were just coming off of the worst E3 Xbox have ever done with TV, sports, TV, Halo, TV. Like,
yeah.
Now we're at this point where I'm like, okay, 15 studios, and we know what some of them are doing, but there's some we don't know. Are we gonna get that level of polish, love, care that we expect next gen?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, that's a good question, because like Microsoft could be going at this like, we don't need that level of polish.
I know.
We got it on Game Pass. We're trying to get the outreach, so getting more stuff out there that's good and fun and enjoyable and by no means bad, but isn't that level of quality. Maybe they go back on that where they have 1 or 2 titles, but would that be enough to carry them?
No.
Yeah.
I'm getting to that point now where I want AAA experiences, and I want story-driven games, and that's what I want. My time as I get older as a gamer, it's more precious, so much more precious. And I need story, and I want unique story. I want stuff I've never seen before. And don't get me wrong, I do think we're getting that with Ninja Theory. I do generally believe we're going to get that. But I want it on a big scale, you know? And I'm wondering, I'm like, I'm so interested this E3. This E3 is going to really show us what we're going to get now, really. Like, I'm expecting to see what Playground's up to, and the Initiative, and Double Fine's new game, if they've got one in the works, which you'd assume they do.
Yeah.
And not that I'm expecting Double Fine to be coming out with like a Horizon Zero Dawn type game, like sort of thing. But I want to see what I'm invested in. That's where I'm at, I think.
Do you think you get that many reveals?
I don't think they've got a choice. I think if you're gonna, because I think why did they lose last gen? Bad marketing and no exclusives that force people to. I'm not even talking about selling systems, just no exclusives that force people to play. So Sunset Overdrive was a fantastic exclusive in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it was in with such a bad marketing time with Xbox. Xbox have people listening now. And I think that's the most important thing. I don't think Sony gamers, like, who are majority, so not they don't want both. Like, they need a reason to appeal to the Xbox fans, obviously. Which, don't get me wrong, they have that with Halo, they have that with Gears, they have that with some of their centric exclusives. But I do think it's a case of convince the PC players of why they need to buy a Game Pass, or why they need to buy these games off the Microsoft Store or Steam or wherever it is they're going to put them. Like, I'm not worried about it being exclusive in terms of, I'm fine with it being a console exclusive. I think we're over that now. I think there was a bad period where we wasn't over that, where it was like, well, it's not really an exclusive, blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, no, it's not really exclusive, but do you want to play this on your phone? Because if you play it on your phone, it's technically not exclusive to the Xbox platform, technically.
Yeah.
I think we're over that, you know what I mean? But I do think they need something. Even, what was the, it wasn't very good at the end, but what was the exclusive that came out for Sony? The New Order, 1886. I want something like that. Like, I generally do. Like, I hope it's better than that, don't get me wrong, because I didn't hate that game, but I didn't love it. Like,
yeah.
It seems
a
like
game that shows promise like that, right?
is graphical
That
fidelity,
looks
story-driven, single
It's
player.
story-driven.
Like, don't get me wrong, you're
That
not gonna.
nails it,
Yeah,
because
I
that
would.
missed like quite a few marks. Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did. But it had promise. Like, if I saw PlayStation announce number 2, I'd definitely try it because it had that much promise that I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're trying to do. Don't get me wrong, it was definitely partly a tech demo as well. Like, look how pretty our games can be. I still think that game's up there for one of the best looking games.
Oh, it looks amazing.
This generation.
Yeah,
so, yeah, we're in an interesting time, man. Very, very, very interesting time. And I'll be interested to see where we go from here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into Fixer's sack real quick. I'm going to skip over some of this, but this one says, hi Fixer and probably Crash. No, always Crash, not probably. Unless he's sick or something. I'm never quite sure if when you say you don't get spec slides, you're playing a part or not. So feel free to bin this, but here's a breakdown of the specs. 12 teraflops, lots of power of the sort needed to render 3D graphics. Custom RDNA2 and the Zen 2 processor. Basically the least as yet unreleased on PC architecture. That's what I said.
Latest.
Sorry, thank you. Latest, sorry. As yet released architecture, PC architecture that doesn't really mean much. It's just a name. Variable frame rates instead of we already know that one. Already know that one. Quick resume, already know that. Most of this I already know. So we'll read this last bit. I'm grouping these together as they are all aspects of the same thing. Basically, HDMI. Okay, this is most of the stuff. I think we broke it down perfectly then. Thank you, Losted. I appreciate it. I think I did a good enough job. You can let me know next week on next week's episode if I did bad or not. Next email came in, which was, with the recent announcement from Microsoft that your Xbox One games can be upgraded to Series X version for free, do you think Sony will be forced to take a similar approach from Moody? I don't think Sony are forced to do anything because they're in the lead.
Yeah.
I personally don't think this is a Sony thing. I think this is a third party thing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is also like weird because Microsoft's messaging with the new console and Sony's messaging with the new console are different.
Yes.
Microsoft's messaging is like it's all one ecosystem, and the new Xbox is the same as the Xbox One S, and it's the same as the Xbox One X. So you can buy Halo Infinite on the Xbox One S. You'll just get a free upgrade for the Series X if you ever go for that, right?
Yeah.
Sony's is the PS5 is a brand new console. It is its own thing that doesn't necessarily exist. It's in the same Sony ecosystem, but it's not really the same. It's not connected between the two, right?
Yeah, I'll be super interested to know where they fall down on it, Sony. I don't think the first story we're going to talk about very soon will explain that a bit more, but I don't think Sony are forced to do anything at this point. I think you're forced to do things when you're losing. You're forced to do things when you're not making money. You're forced to do things that's in all realms of life. That's not when you have money and you're the industry lead and you have great games and you have, I would say, of the 5 most anticipated games this year, you have 2 of them or so. Like, that's when you're doing all right. Do you know what I mean? Like, Last of Us 2 is coming. Most people are playing Last of Us 2. Most people that are into the gaming industry, they know what Last of Us is, right?
Yeah.
Most people played Horizon and agreed that was a fantastic game. Most people played God of War and know that's a fantastic game. So when you're in that position, I don't really feel like you're pushed to do anything. I think, if anything, this is a third party front where it's like, are Ubisoft gonna... I don't think it even matters for old games, honestly, because of backwards compatible being a thing. Sony's got backwards compatible with PS4, we know that.
Yeah.
Just as Xbox has it with Xbox One X. So, I don't think Ubisoft are going to be going back and like remastering Steep and being like, oh, and now you get it free if you own it. It's like, no, I feel like it's
definitely not about those
I feel like it's the games that are coming out now. It's the Watch Dogs, it's the Cyberpunks, it's the what else is coming out third party this year? Marvel's Avengers. It's those games that I think they're going to be like, oh, those are the games I'm more concerned about worrying about if they're going to try and make us double dip. I don't think any of them are going to. I think it's going to be a case of across the board, it's going to be, hey, you bought the new console, don't worry, we got you. just you get it. You get it. It's not.
If
I don't
they
even
do
see
an
it as.
upgraded version as well, because not everybody will do an update for the Series X, I imagine.
See, I disagree. I feel like of the games I just mentioned, right? You can't see them not wanting Avengers on the new system.
Avengers, sure. But
And
Watch Dogs, I could see them not doing Watch Dogs.
nah,
Unless
I
unless
disagree.
Watch Dogs does numbers, I don't think they necessarily have to do Watch Dogs.
Interesting.
Because like I could think Watch Dogs does mediocre to mediocre, and they're just like, there's no point in us putting effort into upgrading this.
But don't you think they've already done the job? Don't you think that's why it was delayed? I feel like it's already done. I don't think it. Excuse me. I don't think it's a case of we're doing the effort. I think it's a case of like just putting it on that store.
I don't know, because that game's very ambitious in what it's trying to do. So I could see the delay not even being about that.
Okay.
I could see the delay just being like making the game work properly.
Fair enough.
And having other issues. So
I don't know. Yeah,
I definitely do think you'll see a good number of third parties actually investing into this, especially if it is as easy as Microsoft's making it seem.
Yeah.
With bringing stuff forward and everything. So we'll see on that front. And we'll see once it happens, we should start hearing developers also talk about the how it works as well.
Yeah.
Whether it's difficult or not.
Totally agree. We'll see though.
So yeah.
Next one, with the announcement, with the recent announcement in regards to the hardware backwards compatibility and games being upgraded. Sorry about my phone. Is this starting to give you a reason to buy the new console? As of yet, from Eldozo. I don't think the backwards compatibility stuff was the thing stopping me from buying a new console. Mine was, what does it do? Why am I buying it? What makes it better than my Xbox One X? That was always my question. Can it do more than my PC? And I feel like they've answered all of those questions, for me, personally. Which is, it's better than my Xbox One X by a mile. It's quicker than my Xbox One X. Like, those things are the things that I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm paying for it. Now, for me, I'm like, what does the dashboard look like? I don't know what else they can really do for me, if I'm being honest with you. Because I would have said, oh, what sort of mixer implements have they got? But I'm not on Mixer, so that doesn't really bother me either. It's like, what can really change? It's not a lot. I hope it's sleek. I hope the design's super sleek on the dashboard, because the console looks dope. So I hope they don't take 10 steps backwards like they did with the Xbox One, where everything's in menus again and stuff like that.
Yeah. It'll be interesting with the dashboard to see when they come out with it, especially them talking about like all these consoles are connected. The Xbox One, the One X, is if they decide to go for a universal dashboard.
I hope not.
Or the Series X has its own dashboard. I could see them going both ways.
Yeah, so could I.
And I'm kind of leaning more on that they'll have one universal dashboard as opposed to like separate dashboards.
The only reason I'm not for that is because that means generations are truly dead.
For Microsoft, yeah. I think we can say like
I think you're right, but I don't want to admit that.
Right. Okay.
Like, I feel like for me it's like if they do that and it's like it's gonna become like an iPhone, obviously, where you upgrade your console every year and it just doesn't feel different. I got my iPhone 11, and don't get me wrong, for the first 3 days it felt amazing. After that, it felt like the same phone that I've had for many years, but a bit faster.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And unfortunately, for better and worse, that's what it is, right? And I don't want that. I want it to look dramatically different from my previous console, like the original Xbox does to the Xbox 360. Don't get me wrong, the dashboard will change over time, just like the Xbox One to now where it's at. I just want that to carry on. I think that's something unique to gaming. That's something unique to consoles. It's something that does keeps me different from my PC, where if that does become the case, that is actually a driving force for me. Like, maybe I do just move to PC then and have a PlayStation and a Switch, because at that point it's like, why am I buying this? Other than the fact of like it's faster and stuff like that. I get that. Don't get me wrong now, and they've actually said that now, so it's true.
Yeah,
it's like I might as well just keep upgrading my PC parts then, right? Because I can just
Xbox games are gonna be on PC, so
they're all gonna be there.
Really
no, do you know what I mean? They're all gonna
Game
be
Pass
there.
is there.
Everything's there. Everything's there. It's like, well, And I still love Xbox, don't get me wrong, but it's like, I don't want the dashboard to look the same. I want there to be a reason that I'm buying this, other than just components. I do want that aesthetic wow every time I turn it on. Like, I love turning on my Xbox One. It brings me joy when I turn it on and I see the dashboard, and especially when I turn it off properly and it does the boot up screen and it does the, it looks dope. It looks dope. But I do think that was something will be taken away from consoles if it does become universal. Like, even Sony, I hate the PlayStation 5 dashboard. I know you disagree with me on this. But I just think it's very boring. It's very samey. It looks the same. The Vita looks the same as the PS3. Looked the same as the PS4. It looks very much the same to me.
Important addition at the end there.
What?
To you?
You don't think so?
They are not the same.
No, I didn't say they was the same. I
said they look the same.
They look. Do you not think they look? They're all just sort of the universal scroll along. Maybe not the Vita, actually. Let me take the Vita out of that. Let me take the Vita out of that. I don't remember how the Vita's bubbles. So. Vita's bubbles. So let me take that out. Yeah. But yeah, it just, to me, it's very samey. And that was part of the reason why I didn't like it as well. I've never liked their dashboard at all. Never. Like, it's just cross-media bar, boring, side to side.
That's because you were an Xbox fanboy.
I'm not a fanboy, but yes, I'm an Xbox fan.
And you instilled in Haley the hate of PlayStation.
That's not true. She does hate really? PlayStation, though.
You sure that's not true?
I mean, I didn't mean to. She just bought into the war. I didn't buy into the war. Yeah. She bought into it.
You threw like a little bit of gas onto the fire. No, like, hey man, look at this. Can we talk about this? Look at this. I might start conversation for a podcast, and then Haley's like, yeah, look at that, the fire, and she just like starts adding more.
I might have given her a light
down the whole house.
That was about it.
Yeah,
but with no gas in it. All right, she had to go find the gas
Definitely
herself.
Gas. It had a little bit of gas, and then she lit the right object that was super flammable and took the whole house on fire.
Jesus. Yeah, but that is it for the questions, Crush. Is it giving you starting to get a reason to buy it? You was already in, right?
Yeah, I'm already in.
Yeah. So, let's get into what's been in our box, Crush. What have you been playing this week?
Dragon Ball Fighters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's coming out with a new season that adds assist select for characters, because you pick the teams, and before every character had one assist. Yeah. Now it's even more like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, where you get to pick assists for characters, which makes more teams viable, which actually has me like really excited for the game right now. Other than that, nothing. Fair
enough. Well, I've been playing a little game called Ori and the Blind Forest.
And?
I started it. I get it.
Oh man.
no, I get it. Okay. I get it. It's beautiful. The opening scene is super powerful. It's not my type of game, is the problem. Like, I'm sure if I really forced myself to play it, I would enjoy it. It's definitely, I can see why people love the game. Art style amazing. It looks brilliant, and when it plays really well as well from the bit that I've played. But I played about an hour, maybe less than that, and I was like, I get what this is. I don't think it's for me, and it's not. And it reminds me very much of when I played Limbo, and I was like, I get what this is, it's not for me. And then I forced myself to play Inside, and I enjoyed Inside, but again, I got where it was very early on. It's just, I'm not into those type of games, and that's a shame, because I understand it. I understand why people love them. I understand why people are excited for the new Ori. I get it. But I'm just like, yeah, nah, not for me. Not for me. So, I did play it, though. And because I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice if I don't play these games at least. Like, seeing them and going, it's not for me is one thing. But actually, now with Game Pass and stuff, it's like, well, why can't I try out that? Why can't I try out Wasteland Remastered when that comes out? Like, they're Xbox-owned IPs. I feel like as an Xbox podcast, I should do my due diligence to play them. I'll play the new Ori when it comes out and give it another try, and maybe this will be the one that clicks with me. But yeah, no, not for me. Not for me. A game that...
Do you think you'll try the new one?
Yeah, no, I'll definitely try the new one, because again, Game Pass and it's there. It's like there's no reason not to try it, and I feel like I partly think it's part of the reason why I didn't enjoy this story, where the expectations are so high that when I'm playing it, I'm like, I can see why the expectations are so high. I can see where it's going. But do I want to invest the, I don't know, 5 to 10 hours into it to get there? Not really. Not really. But I get it. I totally get it. If someone come up to me and said to me, "You're an idiot. Why are you not playing Ori and the Blind Forest?" I go, "Because I'm an idiot. You said it in the first place. I'm an idiot." I get it. I get why you want me to play this. But right now, maybe it's just my mood and stuff like that. I'm just like, not for me. Yeah. Okay. I also tried out the new Fortnite season, which is more Fortnite, obviously, as people keep telling me. All you do is play Fortnite. It's not true, but sure. It's fun.
Plays Ori for an hour and then it goes back to Fortnite.
Nah. I play Football Manager after that. Come on. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I like the new season. I like the changes they've brought back. They put in jump pads back in again. I'm not sure how I feel about that. They're good when I'm trying to escape, but now people are just using them to attack all the time, and I'm like, oh man, this is hard. So
yeah, it's kind of, Fortnite's kind of a weird one where like mobility is nice as somebody who can't build.
Yeah.
But then mobility is bad as somebody who can't build.
So there's that. They took out a few things. They took out some stuff you're gonna like. I can't remember what it was. They've taken out. What did you hate about the game? There's something you really disliked about Fortnite that they've actually taken out. Not building. Other than building.
I have no clue.
No, nor can I. I can't think of it right now. Damn, that's frustrating.
Was it a weapon?
No.
Was it an item?
It was something, I can't remember. I generally can't remember where it is now, but it was something that happened in the game that you didn't like, and they've got rid of it. Oh, traps.
No traps?
Yeah, they got rid of traps. Traps are gone.
Oh, I'm back in.
Yeah,
let's go.
Traps are gone. They've taken out traps out of the game, which
good. Traps
I'm very happy about that. What else have they added? I'm trying to think what they added.
I saw they added a bunch of old stuff.
A lot of old stuff are back. You got boxes now you can hide in and stuff. The crux of what it is though, I bought the battle pass because I had some stuff that I'd earned left over. There's this new thing where you can go to certain parts of the map and they've got like these secret hideouts where there's like NPCs around, not NPCs, enemies, yeah, NPCs. And they're trying to shoot you, but if you kill them, they can kill you. They've got decent aim, some of them. You kill them and then you can like unlock a secret chest that has like weapons in it and stuff. Like it's cool, and like there's music playing in the background. It's like you're a 007 running around. Like it's that type of music. Yeah, and it's fun. It's fun.
I saw some Apex players mad at that chest.
Why is that?
Because Apex has a vault that you have to get the vault key for.
So Fortnite stole that.
Fortnite's just biting that. They're just stealing everything from us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like, it's a game. Who cares? Just keep playing Apex. Stop paying attention.
Yeah. So yeah.
Fortnite's dead. So
Fortnite's definitely not dead. But yeah, I enjoyed the little that I played. I played like an hour and a half of it. That was about it. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm back. I'll grind out the battle pass again, I believe. Okay. But yeah, that's about it. That's about it for me. Let's get into the news this week. Not much news other than a couple of pieces that are important, but here we go. Cyberpunk tweets. Gamers should never be forced to purchase the same game twice or pay for upgrades. Owners of Cyberpunk 2077 for Xbox One will receive the Xbox Series X upgrade for free when available. This tweet kind of lit the world on fire, Crash. Like everyone was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Yeah. Where do you come down?
I think it's really cool. I think it's really nice of them. I think it's not uncharacteristic of Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of people took this tweet and then they were like, all third-party studios are doing this. And I'm like, no, CD Projekt Red has been very for the gamer for a long time, at least in their messaging. So this isn't out of character for them.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean that EA is going to do this. This doesn't mean that Ubisoft's going to do this. I think there's a good chance that Ubisoft.
I was about to say EA ain't doing it. You're nuts. If you think they're not charging you twice for FIFA, you have got no chance.
No, EA will just charge you $40 instead of the full $60. They're gonna be good guys with this.
You're right.
But yeah, I think this is cool. I think this is really nice for a game like Cyberpunk that maybe people aren't getting the next gen day one, but they do want to play it on next gen. So they're like, I'll get it now. By the time I get that next gen, I'm probably still gonna be playing this. I won't be done with it by then.
Yeah.
Big game. or they'll be on their 4th playthrough or whatever. People replay these games like crazy for some reason.
Yeah.
So
Achievements.
yeah, I think this is really cool.
I think it's cool. I like it, obviously. I agree with you, though, which is like, don't assume because you make an ass out of me and you. Like, literally, like, don't assume that every third party's going to do this, because I don't think they are. I think this I love the fact that, I don't know whether this was a planned thing from Xbox, where they were like, we're going to say this, you're going to say that, because we're partnering with you on Cyberpunk for the market and stuff. I don't know if that was the case. If it was genius. Personally, I think this is definitely like to just have that messaging. I'm sure this happens with Sony, with PS5 as well. Guaranteed it happens.
I mean, the wording would say it, right?
Yeah, but to have the fact that they're tweeting it out and like getting people behind it already on the Xbox version is smart. It's like, if you own both, absolutely. The fact there's even that cast of doubt in our head that it might not happen makes people go, well, I'm buying on Xbox just in case. Like, I can't not buy it just in case. Like, I can't, if they don't come out and say it, which I think they will. I think nearer to the time they will. And that's, I think that's...
Sony hasn't like announced hasn't really like shown anything in a while, so there's no really reason for them to say, we're also doing it with the PS5, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
I'm curious, but now that they're doing this, and the implications there that'll happen for Sony as well, because nobody should purchase the same game twice, right?
I agree.
So implications it'll happen for Sony. I'm curious how Sony takes the stance on this for games that come out this gen. For people that do 2 versions on the Xbox, they'll do it with the PS4.
Yeah, that I'm not worried about. I'm more worried Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2. Like, what are they gonna do? Is more my question. Not I knew Xbox were gonna be like, our first party spreads across.
Yeah,
it's Sony. Like, are you gonna force people to buy Last of Us 2 twice? Are you gonna force people to buy Ghost of Tsushima twice?
Will they even do an upgraded version for?
Yes. Are you gonna force people to buy
will.
Dreams twice? Yeah, they will. I think.
I don't know. Well, so the rumor is, which we have no confirmation, is that did they confirm that the PS5 is backwards compatible?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's backwards compatible. You don't have to buy Dreams twice.
No,
Dreams
I
is
agree.
playable on it.
So you think it's a case of they're not gonna upgrade the version. They're just gonna be like, well, you've owned it. If you already own it, it's just there. Like Xbox.
If
you own it digitally, you've already got it.
It'll already load faster and everything.
We don't know that.
The new hardware.
They've not confirmed that though.
Even when you brought 360 games onto the Xbox, everything loaded faster.
Because they did the work for it.
It's new hardware.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I get what you're saying, and maybe I'm wrong in what I'm saying, but I do believe there was a lot more work went into it than just the fact of new hardware and makes it happen.
There was work in making it work on it.
You don't think there was work in making it load? Okay.
No, because that's what the hardware is there for. It makes it load faster. You process things faster with the Xbox One hardware as opposed to the 360 or the OG Xbox's hardware.
Okay.
At least that's how I view it. I could be wrong.
I don't view it as that. I view it as the...
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, please do. Let us know. My Xbox and me at gmail.com. You can email in. But yeah, I believe there was definitely work put in. It did Sony do the work, I think. It comes down to that. But we will see. More CD Projekt Red news, though. CD Projekt Red is Europe's second most valuable game developer, taken from IGN. CD Projekt Red is now the second most valuable game developer in the whole of Europe. This has been confirmed recently after the studio's market valuation surpassed 8 billion via Reddit. The number one studio in Europe in terms of market value is Ubisoft, which is currently sitting at 9.52 billion. CD Projekt Red isn't far behind that now. Chris, that's wild.
That's kind of crazy. That's actually
wild.
really crazy.
Wild.
Wow. I didn't know how much Ubisoft was worth.
9.52.
I saw the CD Projekt Red stuff.
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Witcher 3, Gwent. What else do they have?
Well, Witcher 1, 2, 3. You can't. No,
you're right.
Gwent. I'm trying to think. CD Projekt. Red. Let's think. What else? Let's have a look.
They have Cyberpunk now, but that's not out yet.
Where's Saints Row on there?
That's not CD Projekt Red.
I know. Oh, they did work on it. They developed it. They did
they?
some development work on it.
Oh.
They didn't publish it, but they did some development work on it.
So their games right now.
No, literally. You're right. Yeah, it's what we said.
Thronebreaker, The Witcher Tales, Witcher, the 3 Witcher games, the Witcher Adventure game. I don't know exactly what that is. Cyberpunk, and then something called Red Kit. I don't know what this is.
Yeah. So pretty much what we're saying here is Witcher has made them an £8 billion company.
Yes, and apparently, like, kudos to the Netflix series because that like boosted them quite a bit.
That makes perfect sense what happened there though.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. When I read it, I wasn't shocked at their estimation. Like that doesn't shock me. I was shocked at Ubisoft being 9.52 because when you think Ubisoft, you think of like some of the biggest franchises in gaming history: Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell, obviously Steep. No, I'm chatting crap. There's plenty out there, right?
Yeah. To be fair, for a while, Ubisoft was on the decline.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Yes,
but they were on a decline, and they are just now starting to get stuff.
Well, you got to think they were trying to get bought out. The problem you have with a company like Ubisoft, not problem, because that's not the right wording, but the thing you have with Ubisoft is they have more property, right? Division, Watch Dogs, Just Dance, Rainbow Six Siege, For Honor, Far Cry, Splinter Cell, The Crew. Can go on, right? How many of those make money guaranteed every single time?
Yeah.
Like, you look at The Witcher, because of the way they're set up, especially early on, they were a cult following. If you've watched the No Clip documentary, and if you haven't, it is one of the most fascinating documentaries. You have to watch it. Fantastic. Go check it out. But yeah, they made it that money. They made a lot of money on the first game. Then they made a lot of money on the second game, and then the third game exploded.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so then you think, okay, so then the Netflix doc comes out. They're already got Gwent making money. Blah 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 blah. Cyberpunk is probably the most anticipated game this whole generation.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say, right? Because I think I would go, if GTA came out tomorrow, if they said we're putting the game, they would be number one, and then it would be Cyberpunk. You don't agree?
I don't think so.
GTA's made more money than anything ever.
Okay, you're not wrong about that. But for GTA to get announced and like, oh, it's coming out this year. Because you have to remember the generation ends this year.
Yeah, no, I still think it would be the most anticipated game. People will go wild for GTA 6.
Yeah, but I don't think that's
anticipation.
I think that's excitement. No. Anticipation is like people have been waiting for Cyberpunk.
Okay, fine. That's fine. Yeah, okay. But you get.
I get what you're saying. I think a lot of people will. I think more people would get GTA and more people would be excited about GTA. But I don't know if it had more. Yeah, it would have more anticipation. Because people already know what to expect out of a GTA as well.
I mean, I've seen Cyberpunk.
You played Cyberpunk?
I didn't play it. They wouldn't let me.
You know how that general story is gonna go. Because I know how GTA story is gonna go. You're gonna rob some stuff. Somebody's gonna do you wrong. You're gonna kill them. You're gonna meet somebody. You know, stuff happens. Meet somebody high on drugs in the street, and you're gonna chill with them for a while.
Such an idiot. But yeah, you're right. But I just find it very interesting. Ubisoft. Don't get me wrong, it's still like amazing for Ubisoft to be number one, but just the amount of different. We're talking like 1.52 billion.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we're sounding like that's not.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Like before anybody gets just, people are like, "Yo, are you guys both rich? You guys are talking about like 1.5 million. Like it's nothing."
Yeah, no, like, and you gotta remember this is just valuation as well. This isn't actually what like they're worth, but it makes sense. Like, what was the one thing I will say, what come to mind as well was the fact that Sony got Insomniac so cheap. If like, don't get me wrong, like they got him for 250 mil.
Ooh.
Like,
well, I don't know how much Insomniac would be worth.
Well, they're worth 250 mil. That's what was paid.
No, but right. But I'm saying like prior to that knowledge, I don't know how much I would have.
Again, it's a hard one again because like I think we as gamers think of them so highly because of Sunset, because of Ratchet and Clank, because of some other games. I'm not a Sony guy, so I don't know everything of their.
We
catalog.
judge it off their quality as opposed to how much they actually sell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then obviously Spider-Man would have been a big one, but that's what would have got them sold for that much. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, next one. Star Wars Battlefront spin-off cancelled. Fallen Order 2 confirmed to be in development. It turns out EA have cancelled another Star Wars game, but is apparently now working on a sequel to the successful Fallen Order. Publisher EA already drew when it cancelled a highly anticipated Star Wars adventure. Now it turns out that it has canned yet another one. According to the new report from Kotaku, this title, codenamed Viking, would have been a spin-off of the Battlefront series and was intended to come out in autumn 2020 to coincide with the release of the next generation of consoles. Anonymous EA employees revealed that the game would have contained open-world elements that London-based studio Criterion, which created the Starfighter Assault mode for Battlefront 2, had been brought in to work on the game alongside EA Vancouver. However, problems began to arise due to the challenge of cross-country development, with one of the persons stating that there were, quote, too many cooks, end quote. Criterion in particular had what was described as an ambitious vision for the game, wanting a strong focus on story and characters. I'll be honest.
Story games are dead.
No, they've come out. Did you not? There was a.
I know.
I couldn't find the quote, but Andrew Wilson come out in a latest earnings report and said that they finally see the value in story-driven narrative games.
It's pretty big for them.
I mean, it's huge for them. I couldn't find the quote though. I know it was definitely said, but I couldn't find the quote. So, yeah, interesting. I know we're not Star Wars people, but you gotta say we did love. Well, I did enjoy Fallen Order. So, I was thinking about it the other night when I was in bed.
Yeah.
I don't think Fallen Order made it on our top 10 list last gen.
They didn't make it on mine.
I don't think it made it on mine either, which is wild because of some of the games I put on there.
So you think you'd look back and...
If I look back, it would have definitely made it. I mean, I love Need for Speed, don't get me wrong, but it was better than Need for Speed.
Okay.
So I did feel a little bit bad.
On my list.
I did feel a little bit bad. But yeah, anyway. Games with Gold, February, you've got is that still available? It is. TT Isle of Man, available 1st to the 29th of February. Call of Cthulhu, February 16th to March 15th, and Star Wars Battlefront, available February 16th to the 29th. Crash, let's plug and get ourselves out of here, my dude.
Twitter.com at Crushnick Plays.
Oh, you even kind of got it wrong there.
I absolutely got it wrong. I have no clue how the Twitter URL works. I can't pimp out my Twitch.
I know, dude.
Nope.
Still no internet properly.
I tried streaming the other day. I was like, if it drops in and drops out, I'd be fine. But then it just dropped out. 5 minutes later, it comes back.
To be fair, you've been good all day today. The episode's been fine today. Like, you didn't have any problems, so
that's good.
We'll see. Yeah, you can find me everywhere at MC Fixer. Yeah, I'm kind of here, there, and everywhere at the moment with streaming because of having to go to the hospital. My mum literally just rang me, so I've got to ring her back and literally after this. But yeah, I just implore you to go check out my up-and-comer songs. They're on my YouTube channel. If you enjoy bad singing, you will love that one. What?
They're gonna be played at the club. They're bops.
Oh yeah, they're definitely bops. Yeah, no, they're funny. They're meant to be funny anyway. So go check them out. You've got the love song, and then you've got the My Name Is MC Fixer track. So go check them out. So I'd appreciate that. Crash. Until next week, I will love you, leave you, and see you all later.